everyone, how are y'all doing? I have some interesting updates. The department I'm in at work, this is about work updates, was eliminated, I guess is the word. My boss man was let go yesterday, and so the whole department was gone. We were pretty much told to all go home, which we did, and they'll email us late next week, probably Thursday, Friday of next week, is what we were told, to pick our last paycheck up. That is exciting. It's now Friday morning, and it's kind of, I'm confused, you know, because I should be at work, but it was a very sudden thing. They just all told us to go home. We do have a Christmas party at a little restaurant in the area. It's a small group of us that are going to do a little, like a Secret Santa, I guess it was called, where we all just pick names and give each other gifts. Yeah, me and the husband are both out of a job now. Yesterday when we left over there, we did talk to our investment guy, I guess you call it, or Edward Jones, the guy we have our stocks with or whatever. And we had a nice long talk with him. And I wanted to reset the budget because I'm going to have to make a whole bunch of cuts, which is sad, but it's got to get done. We do have a little bit money in the bank, and y'all see that when I do my weekly check-ins and all that. There's a little bit money in the savings account, and there's a little bit money in the account that has the regular bills. We're going to do a few changes. There's some things we cannot change, and then there's some things we can change. Later today, we are going to go to the phone company and start the changes. Me and the husband do not need to have iPhones. We're going to downgrade to just flip phones because they're a whole lot cheaper. Since I'll be home, I am going to stay home most of the time. The only job I'm going to have is the house sitting for now. So I don't need to have a big, I guess you call it fancy phone with internet and all that. I just need a flip phone. I do have different tablets and all that if I need anything like that, I just have to find internet and I can use those. So the cell phone, we're hoping to get it down to at least $100 less. So instead of $275, it's going to be we're going to try for $150. The electric, we can't do anything with it. It's going to stay the same, so that's still $200. Cable, we're going to lower it. We can't do away entirely with it because we do watch local channels and every now and then a movie or something, but we're going to downgrade it 1 degree, I guess you would say. It's $69.99 plus tax is $73.68. So we're going to try for $62, I believe is what we used to have it at. The internet, actually I did that wrong. That's the internet. I can't spell. Okay. Same thing with the internet and the cable. The cable, I was talking about the internet. The internet was $73. We're going to drop it down to $62. The cable's $103, and that's going to come down a whole bunch. We're thinking we're going to knock it down like a lot. I'm not saying how much, but like $40. So we're going to go to 63 on that. His daughter's still going to get her money. So that's for another 1.5 years. So we can't change that. Child support is none. for now. Home security, we can't change that. And that is $57.83. So that's going to stay the same. The loans are the same, which are $17.51.30. And it is a little bit extra, a couple of dollars extra on one of them. Nothing else on that. And I'm going to have to work on all our other spending, which is groceries. Gas is going to come down a whole bunch. George's money is going to come down a lot more. Mine, and then dine out is going to come down a whole bunch too. Household, I don't know because we'll be home more often. And then we'll have no lunch money. No, actually that's the stepson's lunch money. I take that back. And then we'll have an emergency fund over here. Okay, so for groceries, I'm going to have to drop that down to $100 a week. And it's going to be really tight, but we are going to have to, you know, suggested cut down on meat. And we don't eat a lot of meat a lot of times, but we will be home. And we'll have to try to figure that out. So we're going to go down to 400. Yeah. And then the gas money, since we won't be going to work as much, we can probably drop that down to 300. And then George's allowance is going to get divided in half. We'll start with that and see where we go. My money, I'm going to give myself half of that, which is 50. Dine out, also half, which should be plenty. And then the household money, we're going to have to go down back to, we have it at 300, but it's usually 200. I'm going to go down to 125. School lunches is probably usually always 120. Giving is usually 10%. And I don't know if we'll start going to church. We will be available to do that from now on, but I don't know. And whatever's left does go in the emergency fund. Okay, so I'm going to add this up real quick, and please excuse me if I get it wrong, because I always get it wrong. And we have been looking for jobs, but we can't find any. So the household expenses is $1,032.83. And like I said, this is just a rough draft. I'm just trying to cut things out so far and see where we are. And then okay, so it's this number, which is the monthly expenses. This number, which is the loans, and then this number, which is that. Which all this is still rather high. So I may have to do more cuts on that. That's not including the giving. For our income, we don't have a lot going on. Our investor said we can draw, which is not an IRA, but it's easier just to put IRA on there. It's actually just money we invested. We did have it in 401s, and we screwed up and drew it all out and had to do the pay income tax of like half of it, but it's said and done. And the husband did inherit quite a bit of money from one of his uncles when he passed away. So there is a good chunk in there, but we do not want to do that, not even to pay the loans, because we can try to figure it out without having to dip into that too much. But they said we can have $2,400 a month, which isn't bad. That covers some of this, but it doesn't do a whole lot. I do house sit, and I get $300 from that. And then I have a side hustle, which I don't get paid from YouTube, and I don't think I ever will get to that number, simply because that is not why I am YouTubing. I don't YouTube for the money at all. I do have Poshmark, and I do eBay, and I was doing Etsy the last time that I was a housewife. I am not doing Etsy anymore, but that's a all side hustle, and I don't make much, and I haven't been drawing the money out, but I actually could now. I just let it sit in the account, and I think I'll draw 100 out, which will give me maybe 6 months worth of income there. George, side hustle, and I can't even spell his name, poor guy. He does side hustle, he does odd jobs. He has the equipment, like tractors and all that, to do work for other neighbors, you know, and all that. And he does that anyway, but he wants to concentrate on working on our land. You know, we have some fence we need to do and things like that. But on average, for farm stuff, he could bring in about $500 a month, which isn't much, but it helps. And then we have credit cards that we get rewards. I pay the groceries. I pay all the bills on that credit card. So we usually get about $30, if not more, for that. And I'm not going to put the interest like off the savings account, because it's usually $1 or $2, and sometimes, depending on where I put the money, sometimes it's every 3 months, so I don't want to do that. But that's usually, I think that's everything. Our main income will be off of that IRA, not IRA, but the stocks. And then I have a little bit money that I make, and then some that he'll make. And we're going to see where it goes with that. So for income, at this rate, or at these numbers, it is $2,400 plus $300 plus $100 plus $50, no, $500 plus $30, which isn't bad. It's $3,330, which does not cover all of this, but it will cover the monthly bills, and it will cover the loans. So that just leaves us needing to cover this. So I can always cut down his allowance, which is hard too, because he does have to buy things to make money. He'll work on someone's vehicle, and he has to buy parts, and then he'll get paid for those parts plus his labor. So it's hard to have to cut him off on that money. I can do mine down to maybe $30, which is really tight, you know. I think it's important to have a little spending money. If not, you'll choke yourself trying to stay within budget. So you've got to be able to spend a little bit money. So I don't know. I'm going to work on these numbers more. Maybe I can try to do something different with all of these numbers. I'm going to maybe try to get this down to 1,000, which would be awesome. And that'll be a whole lot better, and it'll give us a little room for groceries, household needs, and all of that, and maybe have a little bit money for the emergency fund. But yeah, I believe that is it. I did want to see how much that was. So it's $3,330 minus 1032.83 minus the 1751.30. That gives us $545.87 to spend on this, which is crazy, because that's usually my grocery budget. It's like way up there. But I'm gonna have to really start couponing and trying to find deals for our groceries. Eventually, hopefully, we'll get the child support, and that will help us. I do help the husband sometimes when he has certain jobs, and I can help him, I will, because I'm not going to just sit at home and watch us go broke. In the meantime, we will be looking for a job. But, yeah. And I really don't know what to do here, because this is crazy. We will survive a couple of months at least, and we'll see. I was offered a job at the dollar store here in town, and I may just have to do that just to try to help us make those ends meet a little more, which we need about $1,000 more to be just fine. Yeah, so it's this number, which was left over, minus what our cash envelopes, you would say, is. We're in the hole about $1,000, a little over $1,000. So I've got to really crunch some numbers here over the weekend and see where we stand, because I think reality is really going to hit me here. But I wanted to write this all down, and I figured I'd bring y'all along to show the process. We do have a paycheck coming in this week for the couple of weeks that we did work, so that'll help this. But like I said, I want to take this number. This is gonna be pretty much it. This is gonna be our income, and I'll have to work on our bills until we get the loans paid off, which could be a couple of years. We're hoping in the spring or summer we'll get to sell the rest of that equipment. We're still trying to wait for them to sell that stuff, and hopefully we'll pay off one of the loans, and it'll give us a big gap, especially that loan that's $1,000 a month. That'll be awesome. I'll pay that off, and that'll give us exactly what we need. But until then, we have to try to squeeze these and shrink them down a little. We do have plenty of groceries, so maybe I can just buy the minimum of what we need on groceries and try to stay home more often. When I do go house sitting, most of the time will walk over there. It is a neighbor. If the weather permits, I usually will walk over there and save the gas. But yeah, I'll see what I can do with all this stuff. I might have to I think I can try to figure out how to cut a lot of this stuff out until we get on our feet and get everything settled in a little more. Anyways, I believe that is it. Just wanted to catch y'all up on what's going on with our jobs and all that, but it's kind of a relief to be done with that job, to the point where I don't have to get up so early, work all day, and all the drama that's going on over there. I think there's only like 150 people left there, and I don't even know how long they're gonna make it. So most of them are quitting. You know, every few days a few people are quitting just because it's stressful right now. You know, it's just easier to quit and be done with it like we did. And yeah, anyways, we will talk to y'all later. Thank y'all very much for watching. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all have any questions, leave them below, and I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a wonderful day and weekend, and until next time, y'all have a good one. Bye.